Congratulations. It was a scary time leading up to it. The unknown. Didn't know what was gonna happen. You know, this is what to expect when you're expecting to go to BMT. Aren't I so funny? I make myself laugh. If you've clicked on this video, you're probably expecting to go to BMT sometime soon, or you're just interested in going into the Air Force. I'm in the Air National Guard, so I can only speak on my experiences of it, but I'm here to give you a couple little tips and tricks and what your family should expect from you while you're gone. First off, to you, the one who is shipping off to basic training, I just want to say congratulations. You're about to embark on a 8-week deep dive into who you are as a person. That's not the way it's advertised, but it's really going to teach you a lot about yourself, and it will definitely teach you a lot about the people around you. The biggest advice that I have, and that a lot of people have, is just to embrace the suck. There's going to be a lot of early mornings, a lot of late nights. There's going to be people you might not get along with, but you might also meet your best friends. There's going to be hard workouts and hard runs. There's going to be classes that you might not have expected to take. Remember, study, work hard, and you'll get through it. Now, that's my little motivation, all right? You've already done the hard part. You've already signed up. You already held your hand and sworn in. That's the hardest part. So, congratulations to you. Before I dig any deeper into what you're going to experience, let's talk to your families. I'm talking to you. Moms, dads, sister, wives, boyfriends, girlfriends. They are okay. The biggest thing I hear is that people are afraid that their children aren't safe, which I understand from a point. These are your children, these are your lives. They are on lockdown, essentially, constantly being watched in the middle of a huge Air Force base that is wildly protected, especially during times like this. Also, they are eating enough. They have 3 meals a day plus snacks, and let me tell you, the food is good. I am a girl who does not like her broccoli. It was on my plate every week. I called my mom and I told her, I was like, Mom, I'm eating broccoli. She's like, are you okay? Do I have to come and get you? Is this a code word? Are you sure you're okay? I said, yes, they just made the food really good. I posted a video last week about why I joined the military, why I went into engineering. And one of the other things of why I joined the Air National Guard specifically was because I heard it had the best food. And I have not been disappointed yet. But let me move on. They are getting enough sleep. You will be sleeping most likely between 6 on the minimum to 8 hours a night. The schedule changes depending on what season you're in. So in the summer season, we had very early mornings because we wanted to get a lot of things done before the summer sun came up, and it was too dangerous for us to be outside in that heat. If you're in the winter, you might have a little later of a morning, but you'll have a later night. So either way, you're still getting enough sleep regardless, because you'll either have an early morning or a late night, but neither both. Friends and family, if you are worried about them making more friends that turn into family, do not worry. For the next 8 weeks, these people will become their best friends. These are the people who are going to meet up with them when they're changing stations or deployed somewhere, and they'll be able to meet up and talk about their BMT stories, because we've all got a few of those. And one more thing to the family, they will call you. They will get a phone call every so often, and they can update you on their life and how they're doing, and you know, all the craziness that's happening at BMT. One thing I will say though, if you are friends and family and you are expecting a phone call from a loved one who is in BMT, keep your ringer on. It sucks if you try to call somebody, you know, you only get like 10 minutes max to talk to somebody and they don't answer. If you're the one going to BMT, have a list of people to call. Might not be able to call all of them every single time you get a phone call, but you'll be able to rotate through the people that you want to talk to the most and make sure those people know to relay the messages on to everybody else in your life. All right, families, that's all I've got for you. But stick around, trainee, as we talk about how your BMT experience is going to go. Like I already said, you've got to just embrace the suck. Things aren't always going to be easy for you right off the bat, but you've got 8 weeks to figure it out. If the marching is hard for you, find somebody who's doing it well. Ask them to help teach you. If you're good at studying, offer to tutor them. If it's the cleaning you're bad at, ask your parents before you leave to teach you. I hope you listened to everything that I told the families because all of it is true. You are safe, you're getting your sleep, and the meals are going to be, I don't want to say fantastic, but they're good. They're great. They're better than you would have thought, in my opinion. I think of BMT in 3 parts. Part 1, military. I know that sounds silly to say everything at BMT is part of the military, but the thing that I think most military-esque is the marching aspect. The marching, learning the ranks, and the little things like carrying your water bottle around and having your 341s on you at all times. I'm not going to get too much into those two because that's a lovely lesson to learn while you're there. I'm sorry. They're tearing an entire house down. If you can hear that, I'm sorry. Marching and learning the movements is something that you can practice before you get to BMT. They don't want you to do it because they want to be able to teach you their way, but if you want a little tutorial video, just comment down below if you would watch. The military aspect that I'm talking about really is what you learn at BMT. It's the structure that makes up the entirety of the Air Force. All National Guard reservists and active duty are combined into different flights at basic military training at Lackland Air Force Base. There's no separation between the two, and I now believe that there's actually male and female both in the same flights, which was never the case when I went. Back in my day, you weren't even allowed to look or talk to the other gender when we were there. There are little life lessons that go along with everything that the military tries to teach you at BMT. I encourage you to look into everything, from making the bed, carrying your water bottle around, carrying little pieces of paper. Try to figure out why they're doing that, because they definitely won't tell you. And if you don't think about it, it's going to annoy you the entire time. When you come back and figure it out, comment down below. The second part is the student part. So there's going to be a lot of times where you are just in a classroom with your textbook, learning from a different professor, MTI, civilian, about different aspects of the military. There's different things like rank, structure, all the way to history of the US Air Force, and a bunch of little things in between. At the end of BMT, you will have to take a test. Now, I can't remember how many questions are on this test, but there's a bit, and you have to pass. It's not hard to pass if you study and you do right by yourself the entirety of BMT. There will be times where you will be able to go to the little shopette that they have on base, and you'll be able to grab extra study materials. I recommend grabbing flashcards, an extra notebook, and extra highlighters. One of my goals when I went to BMT is that I wanted to be an honor graduate. So what I did was I took all of the information that we were learning in class and from the textbook, and I put it all into a separate notebook, and then I highlighted each of the things that I thought were important. I would then go, and I think there were mini quizzes in these books as well, and I would go and take the mini quizzes. If there weren't any mini quizzes, I would make them up myself and test myself and the other people around me. And the third pillar I think of BMT as is the physical aspect. So every day there's going to be some sort of physical activity that you are involved in, whether it's running, a HIIT workout, or maybe a strength training exercise. And this is done as a squadron, so you're outside with everybody all at once doing these exercises, and sometimes that makes you think that you can blend in and slack off. No, no, you cannot, because somebody is always watching. And you also don't want to slack off because you're here to better yourself. You're here to grow and improve as a person, whether that was your intention or not, that's gonna be the outcome. Now, I'm not saying that you have to go 1000% every time you guys are out there PTing, but I'm saying at least give it between, you know, the 85 to 100% range every time. The Air Force also has new PT standards that they just released. So instead of a 1.5 mile run, we now have a 2-mile run. Everything else generally stays the same. Push-ups, sit-ups, and the alternates. However, at BMT, I don't believe that you're allowed to do the alternates. The hammer, the hand release push-ups, I don't think you're allowed to do any of that unless they changed it. This is one of the aspects that you really can start preparing yourself for before you get there. And you don't need a tutor, you don't need some insider scoop, you don't need marching lessons from some previous MTI or something. All you need is a pair of running shoes, go run around your neighborhood, do push-ups in your bedroom, sit-ups in your bedroom, and you'll be set and ready to go. They are not looking for perfection as soon as you get there. They are looking for you to continue to make improvements while you are there. They don't expect you to go in knowing how to march, knowing the Airman's Creed, knowing the Air Force song, being able to pass the PT test on the first try. They're not looking for that. What they're looking for is that you are continuously improving, you are hitting your benchmarks, and that you are going to be a good airman. Within BMT, there are also different leadership roles and opportunities. If you want to hear more about them, I can make another video because I don't want to confuse you too much with overloading you with information about BMT, but just leave a comment down below if you'd like to see something along those lines. Again, I am very proud of you for taking this step. Congratulations on all you're going to achieve. If this helped you, give a like, hit the subscribe button. I post videos about the military, I'm also in the pageant world, and I'm an engineering student. So if that sounds up your alley, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Good luck!